and welcome to Unity of Palmyra, where centered in love, we embrace a positive path for spiritual living. We are an open and affirming congregation. We love you exactly as you are, in all of your magnificent glory, and we're so happy that you're joining us today, either in the sanctuary or online. Everybody turn around and wave to our online friends. Good morning, online friends. It's interesting, we talked last year about some of the gifts of COVID, and one of the gifts of COVID has been our streaming and expanding our reach beyond these walls. And now we just have some wonderful friends who consistently celebrate with us on Sunday mornings. It's awesome. All right, so let's take a nice big deep breath. And wherever we are, let's become present. We're turning off the phones and the computers and the TV, and we're just here now. As we come apart for a while, to remember the truth of who we are. That we are spiritual beings having an incredibly, awesomely, interestingly human experience. And so just for this hour, we let go of what was, we let go of the painting we need to do this afternoon, and give ourselves the gift of being right here, right now, fully grounded, fully centered, fully focused on the many gifts this time together has to offer. And so as always, we enter into this time with gratitude as we say thank you for this time to just come apart for a while, for whatever safe space you are in right now as you are hearing these words, and most especially, thank you for one another. And so it is. Amen. So speaking of gratitude, let's stand and sing Grateful with enthusiasm.
I am so grateful, grateful. I am grateful for all the love that I have. I am so grateful, grateful. I am grateful for all the love that I have. Everywhere I look, every face I see, His love reflected, shining back to me. I just give thanks for all these simple things, the joy and peace that gratitude brings.
Grateful, I am grateful for all the love that I have. I am so grateful, grateful. I am
Grateful for all the love that I have. Every day I wake before I open my eyes, I count my blessings and I realize life is a miracle when I see it that way. I focus on the beauty, that's why I've got to say I am grateful, grateful. I am grateful for all the love that I have. I am so grateful, so grateful. I am grateful for all the love that I have.
I love that song. With gratitude, let's share in our vision together. Centered in love, we embrace a positive path for spiritual living. And our mission, wherever we are, we provide a welcoming community that inspires and encourages all who gather here through the teaching, sharing, and practice of universal spiritual principles. So one of the ways we practice those principles is to honor wherever you are on your hugging journey. If you would like a hug, we will bring it on in. If you're more comfortable with the handshake, we will honor that. And if you want us to leave you completely alone, we totally understand. And we will respect whatever bubble you create around yourself. And as you are hugging and handshaking today, check out the happiness table. We have some new additions. I also got Elaine's permission to share that you do not have to ask permission to bring something to the happiness table, right? This is our happiness table. And if it's getting really full, wouldn't it be great if we needed to add a table? Like, how much happiness would that be? All right? And I also want to point out that if you're reading the book, you know that Gretchen Rubin likes gold stars. Like, she likes to get gold stars when she does something good, right? So we ordered enough sheets of gold stars that everybody gets a sheet to take home with them. You may give yourself a gold star at any time during the week, and you don't have to wait for someone else to give it to you. And if you want to use it to fill out your practices handout, you can. You could just put a little gold star in any of those boxes. All right? Now, have a good time.
Okay, sure.
I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Here we go. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome. Getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here.
Did everybody get their gold stars? Okay, you can get them at the end. All right, a couple of quick announcements. Our prayer chaplains today are Debbie LaTulip and Dan Christopher, who is doing double duty back in the sound booth. So they'll be holding sacred space for us during the service, and they also will be available in this nice, quiet corner over here after the service if anyone would like one-on-one prayer with them. A couple of dates. The next Sound of the Sanctuary is this Thursday, the 27th. Pride is Saturday, the 29th. We do have quite a crew going, but there is a sign up, and we've divided the day into halves because it is a long day, and it's usually hot, and it's going to be even hotter this year. So even if we know you're going, if you could sign up for whether you want the morning or the afternoon, that would be great, and then we can coordinate loading up vans and everything this week. And then, of course, Source of Light is August 4th and 5th. Some of you were already bringing in food. That's awesome. I would suggest that you write SOL on a sticky and put it on it, or we will eat it if we don't know that it's designated. Yeah. Just saying, right? Hey, there's a bag of chips on the counter. Let's eat it. Okay, so, all right, I already invited you to come up to the happiness table and bring more happiness. I would be thrilled to have to put out another table. We talked at the HUG meeting about opportunities for service in the community, and so I did reach out to Palmyra Senior Living right here on Main Street, and they would love it if we'd come over and do some weeding for them. I have a couple mornings available this week, so if you would like to take an hour, it's not a big area, and come weed and mulch with me, that would be great. Check with me after the service and we'll coordinate calendars. So Larry, the woman that you had met with was actually from another nursing home. So I reached out to her and offered our help and then realized it wasn't the one I thought it was. So now we have 2 nursing homes who would love for us to support them in doing some volunteer landscaping for them. Isn't that great? Don't you love it how the universe provides opportunities for service? So, and I have spoken with representatives from both organizations, and they are lovely and they are thrilled. They are thrilled. I mean, I can't imagine the amount of dedication and focus it takes to support that community. And so to have someone come in and say, could we do some weeding for you, must feel like a huge relief. So if you are interested, talk to me after the service. And then also, if you were at the HUG meeting last week, you heard me talk about our fall series, which I am super excited about. It's called Welcome to Earth, an owner's manual for those navigating being a spiritual being, having a human experience. Yes, it really is that long on the cover page. So that was emphasis. So in order for us to have amazing conversations, we are actually going to be holding that entire 6-week series downstairs in Holy Grounds. The musicians are moving downstairs. I'm moving downstairs. We're going to get some sound support downstairs. We're going to be Zooming so that those of you who are watching us online can actually Zoom into the service and participate in the discussions. And then we're also going to be going live to Facebook. So it's going to be awesome. It's going to be totally participatory. We're going to play a little bit with the order of service. We're going to be able to actually engage and talk to our wonderful online folks, and I'm very, very excited about it. And then we will be back upstairs after that, all right? So that's going to start September 17th. So we will have a brand new worship experience, which is kind of interesting because Jeff had recommended a book to me about how church is changing and how it's evolving, right? And the title of it is Weird Church. I ordered it immediately, just because I totally resonated with the title. But one of the things they say in that book is we're different than even our parents and our grandparents were. And so we worship in a different way. We relate to spirit in a different way. We want to be more engaged, right? We want to do things a little differently. And so we are embracing Weird Church this fall. And and the other good news is that the coffee will be ready before the service, so you may drink coffee during the service at your table. All right. So for those of you who are hesitant, hopefully that will get you over that hesitation. All right. Oh, coffee good? Okay. All right. Miss Elaine, would you please read the daily word?
Good morning. Today's word is renew. I am restored by the Spirit of God within me. Renewal is part of the rhythm of daily life. Eating and drinking to nourish and replenish my body, resting to quiet my mind, and sleeping after a day of activity are all ways to renew myself. But sometimes those efforts aren't quite enough to sustain me. At times when I feel drained at depth, I may need spiritual renewal. God, the one presence and power, is within me always, but it is up to me to keep my awareness of God strong. When I awaken, I say a prayer of blessing for what the day will bring. Throughout the day, I feel God's presence all around me. When I prepare for sleep, I say a prayer of gratitude for all the day has brought. In God, I am renewed moment by moment. And from 2 Corinthians 4:18, we look not at what can be seen, but at what cannot be seen. For what can be seen is temporary, but what cannot be seen is eternal.
I am home, my family is here. I feel loved by the ones I hold so dear. And when my family needs me, I promise to be there. And when I need my family, I'm lifted up in prayer.
So this is the time of our service where we consciously enter into that attitude of prayer. We know that every thought, word, and deed is a prayer. And at this time, we are very mindful of that fact. And so we breathe deeply. And as the breath moves through us, we allow it to integrate all aspects of our being, our body, our mind, our heart, and our spirit. And today we focus on spirit. As we just heard in the daily word, sometimes life can feel a bit overwhelming. Sometimes physical nutrition and physical rest aren't enough. And so that's when we remember that we are spiritual beings having that human experience. We don't deny our body's needs, but we sink deeply into our spiritual nature. We sink below the choppy waters. We sink below the demands and the concerns. We sink deeply into the truth of our being, which is the divine. And in that space, we achieve real rest. The rest that invigorates our soul's work. The rest that renews our creative energy. The rest that supports our faith. That deep, deep rest. And so if you are in need of that deep rest today, we surround you with our collective strength, energy, courage, wisdom, love, compassion, all of those amazing fruits of the Spirit, all of those wonderful qualities that we are able to demonstrate when we are rested in spirit. And if you are experiencing joy or gratitude today, We invite you to share it with us. Send that energy through that golden web that connects us all. For we know that one of the blessings of being in community is that our troubles are divided and our joys are multiplied. And for this and so much more, we are very grateful. And so it is. Namaste.
The God in me beholds the God in you. Namaste. The God in me beholds the God in you. Namaste. You are beautiful. You are whole. You are beautiful. You are whole. You've been so kind and generous. I don't know how you keep on giving. For your kindness, I'm in debt to you. And for your selflessness, my admiration. For everything you've done, you know I'm bound. Well, I'm bound to thank you for it. La 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 la. You've been so kind and generous. I don't know how you keep on giving. For your kindness, I'm in debt to you. And I never could have come this far without you. For everything you've done, you know I'm bound. Well, I'm bound to thank you for it. La 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 la. Oh, I want to thank you for so many gifts you gave. The love, the tenderness, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for your generosity, the love, and the honesty you gave me. Oh, thank you. Show my gratitude, my love, and my respect for you. I want to thank you. I want to thank you, thank you. thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, I want to thank you. Thank you. Oh, I want to thank you. I want to thank you. I want to thank you. I want to thank you.
It's just that little ting at the end. That's right. So we're back, and this is week 8 of our happiness project. And this one's an interesting one because it's all about spirituality. And I was like, well, we kind of get that, right? How spirituality adds to happiness. But I like how specific that Gretchen got. And so we're going to look at some of her practices. And then we're also going to touch upon, this is the chapter where she gets really down to brass tacks and basically says, that you're only going to be happy if you want to be. What a concept, right? So let's get started. This is Contemplate the Heavens. So in the year, this would be August. And so she says, by the end of July, I was relieved to turn from the worldly subject of money to the spiritual realm. But I had to find some way to steer my mind toward the transcendent and the timeless, away from the immediate and the shallow. I wanted to cultivate a contented and thankful spirit. I wanted to appreciate the glories of the present moment and my ordinary life. I wanted to put the happiness of others before my own happiness. Too often, these eternal values got lost in the hubbub of everyday routines and selfish concerns. Will focusing on spiritual matters make you happier? According to the research, yes. Studies show that spiritual people are relatively happier, they're more mentally and physically healthy, they deal better with stress, they have better marriages, and they live longer. Now, I thought it was interesting, and I'm not making a judgment here, I'm making an observation, that she didn't say that that was true of religious people, but it was true of spiritual people. And there is a distinction, right? I saw a little cartoon one day, and I'm going to just paraphrase it really badly, but basically it was someone was at church, and they said, "Oh, I feel really bad after this service," and then the person next to them said, "Well, isn't that the point?" Right? So let's just say that that is not the point. All right? That is not the point. I just love Desjardins, Pierre Teilhard de Chardin, when he says, joy is the unmistakable evidence of the presence of spirit, of the presence of the divine, of the presence of God. So, so she talks about 4 practices. Now, I have to admit, I did adjust one of them for y'all. The first one was she had read memoirs of catastrophes. Now, there was a reason, okay? And it was basically, if you read the memoirs of people who, like, you know, got a difficult prognosis or were in an accident or lost a loved one, that the books, you know, were very inspiring and how they came around. And I thought, yeah, no. Let's just find something inspiring to read about, right? Does not have to be a catastrophe. So one of your practices is read something inspiring. Now, I will say, having said that, I kind of identified with that practice because it's the reason I love disaster movies. I love disaster movies, right? Day After Tomorrow, any movie with the word meteor in the title, The Towering Inferno, any movie with the word ice twister or ice apocalypse or something. Don't judge me, because here's why. Because in the midst of the disaster, in the midst of the catastrophe, the best of people come out, right? And good triumphs. And in the end, they save one another. And I make it through all the really bad B and C disaster movies to get to the end, that last 5 minutes when good has triumphed and they've helped each other. So I think that's kind of the point that Gretchen was making about this. So she also had a couple of very specific points about it, and one of them was that, you know, the people in these books, they'd get the phone call saying, you know, you have terminal cancer, or a loved one has passed, or something has happened. And she said the one common thread through all the books was, in that moment, you treasure the ordinariness of life. In that moment, it's those sweet, precious things you do every day, and the people you spend every day with, that all of a sudden you realize how important they are. And she asked the question, do we have to be dying to treasure every day? Like, I love the song that Jody and Janie sing sometimes, live like you were dying, right? Do we have to be dying to treasure every day and to treasure the little things? And this is kind of a theme throughout the whole chapter. We'll get there in just a second. But this also led to her epiphany, and this was about her kids mainly. When she was writing this book, her children were really small. And so she said she realized that they wouldn't always be like this. They wouldn't always have the chubby cheeks. They wouldn't always, like, say sweet little things that only she could interpret. And so she realized at that point that the days are long, but the years are short. And if you Google that, you will find the sweetest short little YouTube that she made years ago that illustrate the preciousness of the days are long, but the years are short. So read something inspiring this week. Doesn't have to be a book, it can be a blog, but something that uplifts you and that touches your spirit. Because remember, this week is all about spirit. All right, then gratitude. Keep a journal, right? Except she did that for 2 weeks and realized, I don't like keeping a gratitude journal. This is why I love Gretchen, because she's just like, yeah, that wasn't working for me. Now, she writes for a living, so it wasn't like she didn't write every day, but she said it started to feel like a chore instead of a practice. And so what she decided to do is to go through her days looking for opportunities to be grateful. So some of them were easy, like, oh, I'm grateful that light turned green or whatever. But then she kicked it up a notch, and whenever she would encounter a challenge, she would say, okay, how can I be grateful? Is there anything in this situation that I can be grateful for? And she said it totally shifted her energy. She started to get really clear that we can be grateful for everything, and it's a practice. And then, and I thought this was really cute, she says, I also started to add meditation to whatever I was doing. So if I was sitting at a red light, this is my sitting at a red light meditation. If I was standing in line at the grocery store, this is my standing in line at the grocery store meditation. And she said it just felt so spiritual to add meditation to whatever she was doing. So I've decided the next time I'm on the treadmill, I'm going to say, this is my treadmill meditation, right? This is my puzzling meditation. This is my weeding meditation, right? Try it. Add meditation and see how it feels. So, gratitude. And then this was the one that I really tended to focus on in this chapter, and this was imitate a spiritual master. So if you had a spiritual master, who would it be? Pardon me? Joan Chittister, Sister Chittister. Oh, she's awesome. Yeah. Who would it be? Edgar Casey. Great. Who? St. Anthony. Yeah. Who else? David Owen Ritz. Yep. Oh, I'm sure he'd be happy to hear that. Who else? Wayne Dyer. Can somebody say Jesus? I'll throw Jesus out there. Okay. Right? Anybody else? Think about it. Mary Magdalene. Yes, so in order to imitate a spiritual master, you need to have one, right? So think about, and it doesn't have to be master capital M, right? It can just be somebody that you admire for how they live their spirituality, right? For how they live in spirit. So the other thing we want to do with this practice is once you've identified the spiritual master, ask yourself, why? What is it specifically about this person that you admire? And do you or could you demonstrate some of their qualities? How awesome would that be? So Gretchen got clear that her spiritual master, she didn't think she had one. This is funny. She said, I didn't think I had one. And then I realized that I had like 17 books about Saint Teresa of Lisieux. So she realized that was her spiritual master. So she says, I'd started my happiness project to test my hypothesis that I could become happier by making small changes in my ordinary day. I didn't want to reject the natural order of my life by moving to Walden Pond or Antarctica, say, or taking a sabbatical from my husband. I wasn't going to give up toilet paper or shopping or experiment with hallucinogens. I'd already switched careers. Surely, I'd hoped, I could change my life without changing my life by finding more happiness in my own kitchen. Everyone's happiness project is different. Some people might feel the urge to make a radical transformation. I was vicariously exhilarated by these dramatic adventures, but I knew they weren't the path to happiness for me. I wanted to take little steps to be happier as I lived my ordinary life, and that was very much in the spirit of Saint Therese. So she talks about Saint Therese, who was a young nun born in 1873. So this is not some far off in the past person. She talks about how this person was living contemporaneously with Churchill. So this is not someone that lived years and years and years ago. But she was known for her sweetness. She was known for the joy that she brought. She was known for being happy wherever she went. And what's extraordinary about that is, in the midst of all of that, how deeply she was suffering. So she says, to me, the fascinating aspect of her story was Teresa's achievement of sainthood through the perfection of small, ordinary acts. That was her little way, capital L, capital W. Holiness achieved in a little way by little souls rather than by great deeds performed by great souls. Love proves itself by deeds. So how am I to show my love, she said. Great deeds are forbidden me. The only way I can prove my love is by every little sacrifice, every glance and word, and the doing of the least actions for love. So as Pope Pius the 11th, sorry, I had to translate, emphasized in the Bull of Canonization, Therese achieved heroic virtue without going beyond the common order of things. Isn't that interesting? I couldn't aspire to Teresa's saintliness, but I could follow her by aspiring to perfection within the common order of my day. We expect heroic virtue to look flashy, moving to Uganda to work with AIDS victims or documenting the plight of homeless people in Detroit. Teresa's example shows that ordinary life, too, is full of opportunities for worthy, if inconspicuous, virtue. So this story reminded me of Brother Lawrence. Are any of you familiar with Brother Lawrence? Brother Lawrence was a monk hundreds of years ago who, by his own admission, had no special talent, and the other monks pretty much agreed with that. Like, he wasn't the best prayer, he wasn't the best gardener, he wasn't the best beer maker. You know, he just had no special talent. And so basically he ended up in the monastery kitchen and was in charge of washing the dishes and cleaning up and washing all the pots and pans of all the other monks, which was a pretty thankless job. I mean, think about it at that point. He would have had to boil water to wash all the greasy pots and pans. And so he decided that, and wrote about how he was going to make washing the dishes and washing the pots and pans and keeping the kitchen clean his ministry. And he was going to do it in absolute joy. He was going to do it in absolute service, and became, because of his writings, famous for his dedication to washing pots and pans. Right? There's a Zen saying that says, "Before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water," right? No matter how enlightened we are, people, there is always the laundry and the mowing, right? And the dusting. It's not that we rise above all of that. It's that that becomes our ministry. That becomes, those ordinary deeds become our service to those we love and to the world. We don't have to move to another country. Unless that's what floats your boat, then by all means do that. But my joy is creating a beautiful home for people to come and feel safe in. Our joy as community is to create this beautiful, safe space for that anyone who walks through these doors knows that they are safe here, that they will be cared for here. I can't think of any ministry more important than that. So, there was also, I saw this, I love it when Facebook supports my talks. I saw this little post a couple days ago, and it says, when people talk about traveling to the past, they worry about radically changing the present by doing something small. This is like why I love the time travel Star Trek episodes, because they totally mess with my brain. He said, but barely anyone in the present really thinks that they can radically change the future by doing something small. And the response to that was, dude. Right? Think about it. It's the butterfly effect. Just a simple act of kindness can change someone's day, can turn around someone's mood or attitude. So this is the chapter, as I said earlier, where she really gets down to brass tacks about, do you really want to be happy? So it's an important question. If you've been doing all the practices, and feel free this week to start filling in with your gold stars, and you're still not feeling any happier, this is an important question. Do you want to be happy? She says, of course, because she's talking about different reasons why people don't want to be happy. She says, of course, it's cooler not to be too happy. There's a goofiness to happiness, an innocence, a readiness to be pleased. Zest and enthusiasm take energy, humility, and engagement. Taking refuge in irony, exercising destructive criticism, or assuming an air of philosophical ennui is less taxing. Also, irony and world weariness allow people a level of detachment from their choices. The belief that unhappiness is selfless and happiness is selfish is misguided. It's more selfless to act happy. It takes energy, generosity, and discipline to be unfailingly light-hearted. Yet we tend to take the happy person for granted. She said, and then she talks about different reasons that people don't want to be happier. Is happiness a worthy goal? Like if people are suffering in another country or around the corner, is it, who are we to want to be happy? And again, she talks about how us suffering does not alleviate their suffering. Us cleaning our plate does not help hungry children in India, right? Y'all grow up with that. You better clear your plate because there are hungry children in China. I always wondered what the connection was to there, right? So is it cooler to be unhappy? Is it cooler to be cynical, right? Is it just naive to be happy? She also says that, do we believe that if we anticipate trouble and tragedy, that somehow we'll avoid it? Like it's almost tempting fate to be too happy, right? I mean, think about it, right? If you grew up hearing that you were a horrible sinner worthy of damnation, how would you feel about focusing on being happy? The lightning will strike you, right? It's okay to be happy. And finally, she talks about that being happy takes effort. It just takes effort. She talked earlier about your joyous ones. Protect your joyous ones. It's so easy to want to slap people around who are happy, right? Think about it. If you're having a bad day and you're with someone who's happy, is it annoying? Yes. Right? Tell the truth here, people. Right? It's like, oh, just knock it off. Seriously. It's how, think about Tigger in the Winnie the Pooh and how he was constantly annoying Rabbit. Right? He really didn't annoy Eeyore, by the way. He annoyed Rabbit because Rabbit was the worker bunny. And Rabbit believed that he didn't have time for something as frivolous as happiness. He had work to do, right? So it was Rabbit that Tigger annoyed with his happiness. So here's a news flash. We can be happy and get a lot of work done. It's not either or. Here, this is how she finishes this whole conversation. She says, last, some people are unhappy because they won't take the trouble to be happy. Happiness takes energy and discipline. It's easy to be heavy, etc. People who are stuck in an unhappy state are pitiable. Surely they feel trapped with no sense of having a choice in how they feel. Although their unhappiness is a drag on those around them, remember, emotional contagion, unfortunately, operates more powerfully, I hate this part, for negative emotions than for positive ones. They suffer too. Philosophers, scientists, saints, and charlatans all give instructions on how to be happy. But this doesn't matter to a person who doesn't want to be happy. If you don't believe you're happy, you're not. As Publilius Syrus observed, I hate it when she quotes like the Greeks and the Romans, no man is happy who does not think himself so. If you think you're happy, you are. That's why Teresa said, I take care to appear happy and especially to be so. I take care to appear happy and especially to be so. So your fourth practice this week, I added one, is I printed out copies of her 12 Commandments of Happiness, the Happiness Commandments. All right, I thought the commandments were good for Contemplate the Heavens. So you may take a copy of this home with you, and then your fourth practice this week is to come up with your own. Come up with your own 12 Commandments of Happiness. Right? So hers was be Gretchen. I made it be me. So as you read this, it's be yourself, right? So this is your fourth practice. You are to read something inspiring, focused on gratitude, imitate a spiritual master, and come up with your own 12 commandments of happiness. And then here's your bonus question. Do you want to be happy? Right? Let's take that into meditation.
Yes, I am here to love. Yes, I am here to serve. Yes, I am here to be the love of God. Yes, I am here to love. Yes, I am here to serve. Yes, I am here to be the love of God, my God. And I know forevermore that I am love. Yes, I know forevermore that I am love. Yes, I am here to learn. Yes, I am here to live. Yes, I am here to be the love of God. Yes, I am here to learn. Yes, I am here to live. Yes, I am here to be the love of God, my God.
So I invite you to very gently close your eyes and take a nice, big, deep breath. If you can place your feet flat on the floor, grounding ourselves. Head held high, filling ourselves. Feeling the breath move through every cell and nerve and muscle. Nurturing, supporting, empowering, enlivening. Reminding us with every breath that we are spirit. It's actually in the word inspiration. With every breath, we remember that we are spirit. And as spirit, we are love. We are strength. We are wisdom. We are compassion. We are joy. With every breath, we remember who we are. So as we go forward this week, as we leave this place, I invite you to embrace that practice. With every breath, remember who you are. You are a magnificent revealing of the divine. And when we catch ourselves getting caught up in what feels to be the mundane. We remember the many gifts of living an ordinary life. And we gain a new appreciation for the lives we're living. Yes, we are love. Yes, we are spirit. Yes, we are living, breathing demonstrations of the divine.
And I know forevermore that I am loved. Yes, I know forevermore that I am loved. Yes, I am here to love. Yes, I am here to serve. Yes, I am here to be the love of God, my God, of God, my God.
Anybody else not want to open their eyes yet? That was beautiful. That was our music meditation. I really like the adding meditation to everything we do. Right, Leslie? So this is the time of our service where we thank you from the bottom of our little hearts for your incredible generosity, for your giving of your time, talent, and treasure to the work of this community. We actually had a fantastic conversation at our this month's council meeting last week. We'll share more of that with you at August Hug meeting, but just getting clearer and clearer about who we are and why we're here and who are we here to serve. And what's amazing is as we get clearer energetically, all of a sudden opportunities just pop up in order to fulfill that purpose. And that's what's actually started happening over the last 4 or 5 days. So amazing. We can't wait to talk more with you about it at the Hug meeting. It was awesome. It was so much laughter at our council meetings. If you ever walk in on a third Wednesday in the month and hear uproarious laughter downstairs, that would be us. Yeah. So thank you for your contributions. The work we are doing is so important, and I'm seeing it getting even more important as we move forward. So thank you.
When I walked through these doors, I sensed His presence. I knew this was a place where love abounds. For this This is a temple, the God we love abides here, and we are standing in His presence on holy ground. We are standing on holy ground, and I know there are angels all around. Let us praise God now, praise Him anyhow. For we are standing in His presence on holy ground. In His presence, I know there is joy beyond all measure. And at His feet, sweet peace of mind can still be found. For when we have a need, He is still the answer. Oh, reach out and claim it, for we are standing on holy ground. We are standing on holy ground, and I know there are angels all around. Let us praise God now, praise Him anyhow, for we are standing in His presence on holy ground. Let us praise Him now, for we are standing in His presence on holy ground.
Well, that was gorgeous. All right. Thank you so much, Kate. Love that song. Let's stand and share in our unity blessing and make sure that we go all around the sanctuary and beam it out into Facebook and YouTube land. Together, we love you. We bless you. We appreciate you. And we behold the Christ in each and every one of you. Yes, we do. And let's sing the peace song. Oh, I just want to prime you. If you were at the Hug meeting, for the 6-week fall series, we're going to use a different closing song. It's just 6 weeks, people, okay? So just breathe through it, and then we'll see how we feel at the end of the 6 weeks. All right, Janie, go ahead. Just wanted to give you a heads up.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be with God. of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. And wherever God is, all is well. Make sure you get your stars, your commandments, your handouts, and join us downstairs for coffee and fellowship. And have a wonderful, gratitude, joy-filled week. We love you. Bye-bye, YouTube and Facebook. Bye-bye, YouTube and Facebook friends. Cassie loves you too. Have a wonderful week, everyone. You're going to get one for your mommy?
I got another one too. It doesn't have the butterfly on it, but it has rainbow colors.
Oh, nice. It's very nice. Thank you.